I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that's dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is. No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that's dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is. No.
Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday night. I am excited to go live with Tim this evening. Hey. Let me get over here. Let me get into my comment section. Make sure I say hi to everybody. So hello. We've got Tim out here tonight. So, yep, decided to take a little break from Chantal today. I know she was out on a hot date with her husband, but I obviously wanted to talk a little bit about Tim today. And this is also my grad school fundraiser. So let me just, let me get out there with Judge Mathis. We're just going to dry beg it tonight like Tim does because, I'm learning from the best over here. I'm learning from the best. Let me say hi to everybody. Hey, C# Flat 5, come on in. I hope I said that correct. Miss Tammy loves to travel. Well, we're waiting to see if Tammy does travel. Is she the mysterious Ms. T? Or who is it? Who do we have? Hey, Pat, come on in. It's Demi O'Clock time. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Oh, my gosh. I got my first super chat. Let me try to show this. Oh, my goodness. I'm acting like I'm new here. Thank you, Magnet. Camino Island says hello. Camano? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Well, Magnet, thank you so much. That is going to go a long way for my very expensive advanced pharmacology book that I need to be buying. So thank you for that. I'm trying to look for the least expensive as possible, but even then, they're never very, books for school, I'm just like Tim. I need a book. And we saw that Tim had a book today. So who else do we have here? I know Pat Ray's one of my moderators. Thank you, Miss Pat, for being here today. I know some of the others, don't necessarily come here for foodie, but come for foodie, not necessarily for Tim. So oh my goodness. Am I sharing the internet with all my neighbors tonight? So thank you all. Dr. Falcone is here. Come on in. Or Falcon, Dr. Falcon. I don't know why I call you Falcone. I guess I just want to jazz up the name. Hi, Mimi Seven Hearts. You've commented on his channel a few times saying, Jesus, take the wheel so Tim can talk with both hands while driving. Yeah, we're going to watch him be really safe today. Oh my goodness. We don't want Tim to think that he's not being, thought of. So we're so happy. Anybody but Tim. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you. These current years. Absolutely. And I am somebody that I was telling the story last night about how my parents found out I attended a pride parade once on behalf of a friend of mine in the past. Oh, you think he mailed that Bible to himself? I wonder. It was not. I heard it was like $4.99 on Amazon. I don't know. I'll have to find the Amazon page. I'm not an Amazon person. I don't do Amazon. I don't line the pockets of Jeff Bezos. Oh, hey, Gina. Hot and humid Chicagoland. You know what, Gina? Chicago, and I'm not lying, okay, is one of my all-time favorite cities. I have a friend of mine who was from Evanston and had a place in Rogers Park, and then she moved out to Skokie. Okay. I love Chicago. People in Chicago are so nice. If it wasn't such an expensive place to have lived in, I would have moved myself to Chicago because I love Chicago. I just don't think I could have coped with the winters. I lived far too many years in Mexico City and in Mexico to be able to handle Chicago's weather. But I love Chicago. Probably one of my all-time favorite cities. Love it. Hi from Texas. Well, I've been over to Dallas and I stayed in the dry area. And I've been through the Houston airport, but I have visited Dallas. Absolutely. So thank you from the big state of Texas. We love that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gina. I love me some Chicago, man. Mm-mm-mm. That Garrett's popcorn. Oh my goodness. That stuff is to die for. That is probably one of my. Let me dry bag some Garrett's popcorn out here. My goodness. Hi from Georgia. Hi from Georgia. Well, I did have the pleasure of going to Savannah for the St. Patrick's Day Festival. So I had a very good time in Georgia. I'm, we'll find out what states I haven't visited yet. But a lot of people are from places where I am familiar with. So I love that. You were up in Chicago last Saturday? Too much road construction? You need to come over to Virginia Beach. You want to talk about road construction? I swear there's a part of I-64 out by Hampton, Newport News that has been under construction since I was a child. Okay, we're talking about the 1970s here. So. Oh, Montreal. Oh my goodness. Never been to Montreal. Never been, but I have been to Toronto. And the Niagara Falls, but I've never gotten up to Montreal. Would love to get up there, Claudette, at some point. Junebug's just not a traveler. She's just not a traveler. So it's a total mess. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. My friend had a Mini and she would drive around in Chicago. It was absolute madness. Bella says, oh yeah, my husband got offered a contract to reopen a hospital near Chicago. Oh, then 50 degrees. Oh yeah. Oh my God. You're giving Bella, I'm having a memory of a time when I was trying to get into one of my nursing when at the hospital, and we have to park often in these big parking lots. It's chaos. And I was trying to get, and they had with the steps in the parking lot with the little metal slip there. And I guess I was on the phone with my mom because my mom was due to come into the United States. And so I was chatting with her, and there was the metal ridge, and I slipped and like literally had to be taken to Arc Health in a wheelchair. So yeah, oh, not good. Yeah. Oh, poor nurse, man. We nurses really get it, and that's why it's sort of interesting to me that Tim has done so little for so many people. I guess he spreads positivity. So let me be positive. Used to live in Savannah. Oh, Savannah's beautiful. Hey, Barry Exposure. Hey, from the basement. Hey, I saw your video today. Thank you so much for the shout out and for encouraging people to become members of the channel. So I really do appreciate that. I'm on a dry bag graduate school fundraiser today because, I've been watching the confidence trickster. Let me get my words together. The confidence trickster himself in action. So, oh, thank you, Rob. Well, thank you for saying I rock. I promise you, my ex-husband does not feel the same way. Natives don't say Cali, just like Frisco is not said by natives. You're not going down to Cali, to Cali, to Cali. I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they really don't say that. It's like saying, I call where I live Varbiace. And there is actually a song by Drake called Virginia Beach. I don't even know what's going on there. So anyway, let's not waste any time. Let's bring up the man of the hour, our wonderful friend Tim, because, I don't want him to think that he's not getting the full girl world treatment that we love to give over in this side of the universe, because we do. We love to make sure that we've got full girl world experiences going on. So yeah, we got Tim here. I just wanted to show real quick. Let me make me small. Tim's stats over here. And having noticed that he has not moved from his 63.3 thousand members. And just to highlight, I'm the blue, Tim's the red. And you can see I've had, and thank you guys so much. Oh, Blind Views. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Blind Views. I really do appreciate that. I will go get smart, because Tim wanted a book, and I needed an advanced pharmacology book for my class starting on July 3rd. A strange date to start. It's like the day before 4th of July. But so yeah, I've got all my books. So we're on a grad school fundraiser tonight. Let's just be honest. Blind Views rocks too. Oh, absolutely, Rob. Absolutely. Oh, what were you saying? Tim was disappointed that his free Bible did not contain $100 bill as a bookmarker. Yeah, I'm sure he got a few coffees for it though. I saw that he his coffee donations ticked up back again. He loves those coffee donations. Absolutely loves them. Hey, Angela Glass, come on in. Come on in. I got my moderators here. Always love the moderators. Okay, so let's have our first little look at Tim. And darling, and I may show her video at the end, and I never like to snipe on other creators, especially in my community. Oh, Dr. Falcone. Oh, the book fun. Well, we gotta, I really do appreciate it. I really do. I honestly, it means more than you realize. Just because I have been, unfortunately, due to being unwell, out of my work as an RN, and I'm getting ready to go back to my position. Hey, darling. Last was 5 days ago. Hey, darling, come on in. I was just saying I just saw that you posted a nice dry bag video for Tim. So I was almost wanting to share it with my audience. And I'll make sure that all of you who are part of our community, if I could get, I know my mods are really good at this. Angel of Glass, Pat, whichever are here, if we could get some links to Blind Views channel, to Barium Exposure channel, and to Darling's channel in the comments, I would love that. So if you guys could do that, it's Darling, it's Blind Views, and Barium Exposure. Please drop their links in my chat for me, and I really appreciate that. I have the best mods. I am so lucky to have the mods that I do have. But I was just looking at 10 subscribers over here, and Tim has lost over the last 30 days 100 subs. I think there's a lot of people that probably subscribed and just forgot they subscribed to him. And so he might just always stay at 63.3. But I've been very proud that my little channel over the last 30 days, and it's probably thanks to Tim and Summer Foodie, gained over 500 subs. So thank you, Tim, for helping my channel grow. He really has. He's really made it so that people actually can really see me. Thank you. There we got Blind Views coming up. Thank you. I told you, Angel Glass is on this, man. And Pat Ray. They're always we got Barium Exposure, and I know we're gonna get Darling's channel dropped in here real soon too. So yeah. Thanks for the support. Oh, absolutely. We have to work in collaboration with one another. And because when you're trying to expose somebody who's a flim flammer like Tim over here, and just to remind us a little bit about who Tim is.
Confidence trickster, noun British, a person who tricks other people in order to get their money. Con artist. Confidence trickster, noun.
Yeah, con artist. That's what our friend Tim is, a con artist. So yes, let's take a look at his latest morning chat. That's what we're going to look at. Oh, this is funny. He says here, don't judge a book by its cover. And I'm still trying to work on my video about how, he's got another thing here. He's met somebody in a parking lot. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. I was going to do his morning chat first, but I think we're going to have to watch Tim do some coveting as well if we have time, because looks like here he was, check out these homes right across from Walmart. I'm surprised we don't have a Walmart video in Hurricane, Utah. He's in such a hurry, he can't even capitalize the word hurricane, which is a proper noun for the city, or put a comma here. I mean, he's got to pop out these videos. Look at this, an hour-long golf video. and it doesn't get the views. 2.4 thousand views. Like, nobody want to see this golf, Tim. He got quite a few actually on the package that he received because it's a quick video. So more people look. They probably are curious as to what he got. He looked like a kid at Christmas. The laughing, the flim-flamming, the whole, it was just, it's a tool for a trickster. Anyway, so yep, he's out coveting houses again. He's already spent Tammy's inheritance. He's already spent Miss T's inheritance over here. My goodness, Tim. Oh my goodness, Lee. Lee, thank you. Oh, thank you for my advanced pharmacy book. Yes, my next class is advanced pharmacology. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it. So, gosh, guys, thank you guys so much. Somebody, which one's Sarah? Sarah sent a super sticker. My goodness, Sarah, thank you. Let me not forget. See, Sarah, thank you so much for the super sticker. You guys are so generous tonight. You're gonna make me cry because I'm a single female who doesn't even get Christmas anymore. So this feels like Christmas for me today. So thank you guys so much. That's really going to be so helpful. It really is. I so appreciate the generosity. Thank you guys so much. And I want to make sure I say hi to everybody. Oh, will Tammy show up? We don't know. I think we did a poll last time about whether we thought Tammy was going to be in town. But we know that Tim's already knows that she got the house for 470 or the sold for 470,000. I can't remember which, I think was it Barry no, Grifters Anonymous was the one that had given the information about the home sales and the court proceedings around all of that, or in getting the estate settled. Well, not court proceedings or whatever needed to happen to get the estate settled. You cannot believe how bad his skin looks. Well, he burnt himself to a crisp the other day on the golf course because he obviously does not go out with any type of sunscreen on. And I like literally walk around in a hat because of the fact that I'm so concerned about getting my face burnt here in Virginia Beach. I worked for a plastic surgeon office and worked with a lot of skin cancers, obviously, because of the area I live here in the United States. And it's bad. And yeah, he burnt himself up to a crisp. Hey, Bertie, come on in. Still hanging on? He makes, yeah, he makes a, yeah. I mean, I feel like he's trying to move out of his RV time, like nomadic Tim. Like he's trying to get rid of that RV. He's not having a good time in an RV. He's not. Doesn't know how to manage an RV. He's too lazy to take care of an RV. It's too much work for Tim. Tim is a shirker of work, as we know. Tim does not like to work. He likes to take it easy as much as possible. That's why he only worked a couple hours a day, a few days a week throughout his whole entire adult life. Is because he's not a workhorse. He's not a workhorse, but he's a pretty good con artist. Could get multiple wives in Utah, sorry. Well, the problem is that they would be more of a traditional wife. So they would anticipate that Tim would be bringing home the bread and butter. And, Tim is looking for a sugar mama, in my opinion. He wants a sugar mama. You're coming out from Central Virginia. Well, hi, cousin. If nobody knows, if you are a native of the Commonwealth, and I, was born here locally, I know the accent throws people off, but I have from an old Virginia family, real old Virginia family. And they all say that people that are like Virginia, like born family, been in Virginia, long history in Virginia, we's all related. In fact, I used to joke that I had so many second cousins in the city of Virginia Beach, I needed to get a DNA test to date anybody. So, yeah, I would just go to places. I'd meet a second cousin at the drop of a hat. Tim had the nerve to call someone oh, I know. He did. I think he was projecting to blind views. I think that was projection because he's wild. Anyway, let's get to Tim. Let's get to Tim because I could chat Tim all night. So let's just bring him up and continue to chat Tim. All right. So we've got him morning. I cannot believe. Anyway, let's just get. Let me stop and let me bring him back a little bit because obviously I was picking for thumbnails earlier. Okay, Tim. I'm going to speed Tim up to. Oh my goodness. I'm going to speed him up to 1.25 just because, he's a slower talker. And to speed it up a wee bit. So.
And look at that thing. Got a panoramic view. There's your little cramper. At least you can stand up in it. Well, let's take a look at the neighbors today and see what we have. It's kind of empty. Only here's a triple axle toy hauler with the back door that opens up there like a garage. 2 slides on that side. 1 on this side. Here's a big Class A diesel pusher bus. Not really a bus, but diesel pusher. Here's a nice looking. You guys like the Brinkley, huh? You got the frameless windows. 2 slides.
Every time I see him do this, I'm like, Tim, did you ask people to film their personal property like this? I mean, because in Virginia, an RV is considered personal property and you'd be paying personal property tax on that vehicle. So it's kind of different from just a house in some ways. So it's just like, oh, okay, you're just doxing this person's license plate right here. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Tim just out here doxing the world, as always. And I mean, look, he's he can't even take the time to walk through and show this to people. We're literally watching this through his car window. This is the quality content that Tim, big YouTube star, knower of all things RV, is out doing. All right, Tim, keep up with the quality content because we just love your morning chat. Oh, sorry. I thought I started him. But look at this. Look at this. We can actually see his reflection. Look. I'm going to point this out here. Everyone's always, look, here's Tim right here in the reflection. And we know Tim loves the reflection. Timmy, I hope you have your pants on.
Slides over there. Another slide here. 5th wheel. A Cougar. Here's these aren't bad. These little Class A. This guy's getting ready to leave. He got his brake lights on. He's getting ready to do something.
Oh.
And then this is a big old toy hauler here. Then we got some little guys over here.
Yes. Tim is a retiree early because he took his retirement at 62. And he is also a famous YouTuber who is also a flim-flammer and a confidence trickster. And he likes to prey, in my opinion, on lonely, vulnerable, and elderly, probably, individuals who think that he is super positive. But I was reading a study about using the internet for fraud. And I didn't get a chance to get fully through the article. But I'm going to continue reading it because it talked a lot about how the elderly are very vulnerable, and it can be a cognition thing too. And so it's very interesting. So I'm going to read a little bit more so I can make sure to incorporate that information into my responses to Tim. But being he is definitely more than just a retiree. Yes, he is a retiree technically, but he's so much more than that too.
There's a No Boundaries. There's your Lance, an early model one. And then the Casita and the Oliver over there have been here since I've been here. And then there's another airstream on down there. And I think these might be the people that work.
I know. Do I need to get business cards for my channel? I'm just wondering. Look at this quality content here. Look at it. He couldn't have walked around. He's like driving because he's obviously, got to get to the golf course or get to his coffee or whatever he's up to. Spread his germs.
Work here. I'm not sure. We kind of got their own little area there. Here's our office. You can actually receive mail here. Here's the get out thing. Now that we got that out of the way, let me turn the phone around. I got to talk to you. All right. I've had this pain before. I know I'm always whining about my ailments. I done wrenched my back. My lower back on the right side.
Oh, goodness. Okay, this is where my professional expertise gets to come in with Tim, which is one of the reasons why I was interested in doing this video today, because obviously I've not been an orthopedic nurse, but I have worked obviously as an RN for over a decade and in grad school to become a nurse practitioner, psychiatric mental health, believe it or not, if you're not familiar with who I am. And that's why I'm talking about my advanced pharmacology book, because I am at Purdue University. I do classes online because I am in Virginia, but I am at Purdue. So go Boilers. And yeah. So I'm very excited. So I kind of look at Tim through the lens of the cult of personalities, charisma. And now I've started to read a lot more articles on fraudsters, scam artists, flim-flammers, confidence tricksters, how these people use the internet to gain the trust of vulnerable, lonely, and probably older individuals, and how they do it. And so I'm kind of looking at Tim because he started out his channel saying he was a minimalist, and he's not a minimalist. As you can see, look at the amount of, I'd like to use the word crap as a medical term. And look at the amount of stuff he has in the back of the car. These are all things that he's gathered and garnered from his audience. He is a very big dry beggar. He dry begs very hard. So keep going, Tim. Keep going. His back. I'm guessing you're taking an Advil for that, some type of NSAID to help with the inflammation. Have you put heat on the back? Maybe not going to the golf course, and maybe learning how to actually play the game of golf correctly would save your back, Tim. But you're just a hacker out there on the golf course. And I know because I used to play golf. And I don't get the chance to play, but my grandfather was a very good golfer. So you're a hacker, mate. You're a hacker.
In the hip area, over towards between the hip and the middle of my back. Right in my belt line, right in my waistline, just below my, oh my gosh, the muscles I have yanked from swinging that golf club. It's exactly what it's from. It's probably from swinging too many times, incorrectly, all of it, some of it. But
good job, Tim. You finally remembered to put your seatbelt on. Is this safety, Tim, at this point? Just kind of see the situation that's happening here. We have a gentleman who's complaining about his back hurting. I use the word gentleman lightly. He is also somebody who has active glaucoma, that he did not see any type of optical care when he was growing, aging. And if anybody is aware of, taking care of their eyes, it is recommended, even if you don't think there's anything happening with your eyes, to get your eyes checked starting at the age of 40, because that gives the optician the opportunity to look at your eyes and start to follow what could be changing with your eye health. You may not notice it, especially if you have type 2 diabetes or any type of diabetes, type 1, type 2. getting regular optical checks is so important. And especially if you know people in your family have a history of things like cataracts or glaucoma, there is a hereditary factor in it. And I had a grandmother who had both. And I'm already, because I lived in high altitude cities in Mexico City back in the 90s for over 7 years, have very small cataracts already starting in my eyes. And the good news is that if you catch it early enough, it can be treated where you do not lose your eyesight for these particular ones. And he had neglected his sight. So he's got glaucoma. He's driving around. He's talking to his video. And you're going to see he gets even more dangerous as the morning chat goes on. And his back is hurting. But he doesn't think about those around him. It's all about Tim and Tim putting out huge amounts of content. I can promise you, thanks to Tim and me spending a week popping out so many videos and starting to grow the channel, I actually just secured my first brand deal. And you'll be jealous, Tim, because it's a recliner that's got heat and massage to it. And I'm excited to show this once the chair arrives, because I am very particular about anything that I'll collaborate with. I had been reached out before with Temu, which is something I would not touch with a barge pole, but this company had good ethics. And so I'm excited. So yeah, you'd be wanting that chair at the moment, Tim. Where's your brand deal, Tim? Where's your brand deal?
I'm in terrible pain.
All right, let me get back.
And I got to play some golf next week over in Temecula with California Steve. And I need to play golf today or tomorrow.
Oh my
I want to play golf yesterday.
Yeah, that sounds like a really wise plan. Let's just exacerbate what's already hurting with more of the same action. Yeah, that sounds like a really good job. My recommendation, Tim, and I'll give you some free medical advice. How about that? One, you do need to watch the number of NSAIDs that you take, because they will chew your stomach up. Also, if you have any type of heart condition, it is not advised to take NSAIDs like you're eating candy. In fact, that if you had any heart conditions, that's a big no. Absolutely, you should not take an NSAID unless it's your 81 milligram of baby aspirin prescribed by a doctor. That's the only thing that you should be taking as far as an NSAID. Otherwise, it's Tylenol, acetaminophen all day long. So, but you know better than the doctors, because doctors don't know anything, but Tim knows everything. Also, you might want to give yourself an Epsom salt soak, okay? Get yourself into some Epsom salts. That magnesium getting into the body, that's very helpful. It's very beneficial. So you need an Epsom salt bath, and you need some, you need to do heat, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. And you need to stop popping Advil like candy, because you're going to tear up your stomach, mate. Sorry.
But I'm definitely giving it a break today.
Tim. You're welcome.
I probably should ice it down. I need Bengay. I don't know. I'm so desperate for coffee. I'm going into Shell Station instead of driving all the way back up the freeway to the Sinclair, where they have the Highlander grog.
Ross,
I'm going in.
I am so sorry to hear that. I know when I was one of the biggest listening audiences to Sirius XM are people who are distance drivers, or people who work in the transportation driving industry, or trucker friends, basically. And I know that Blind Views did that for work, and it's hard work, man. It's a lot of sitting, and sitting is not good for the body over long extended periods of time. It's, we do get sitting disease, even people like myself, and anybody, doctors even get stuck, because we get stuck, working on charts. And so I actually had a doctor who got one of those like desks that you could raise and walk with a treadmill, because she did not want to be just sitting all day. It's so easy in certain types of professions just to sit all day. And I'm so sorry you went through that. But I know that a lot of people that were in that industry used to call the doctor's radio. They call a lot onto doctor's radio because I used to listen to it when I was traveling as a nurse and driving back and forth from North Carolina to Virginia or South Carolina to Virginia. And I would hear a lot of these calls. And yes, that was a very high blood pressure. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And I hope that you're doing better. And I always recommend, if you do get an opportunity to get to cardiac rehab, to do so. It's very beneficial, more beneficial than you realize. This is from a previous cardiac rehab RN. When I started out, Ross, I was initially a cardiac nurse. So my experience was a lot in cardiac. I did cardiac, oncology, hospice, end of life care, case management. So I hope your blood pressure is doing better.
In here. And then I'm going to go that way on 15 back to Hurricane or St. George and make videos today of just looking around and exploring because I can't play golf. And I don't want to go to Cedartown.
Oh, good. Well, his audience will be grateful not to have a golf video today. So Tim's just going to go out and covet houses again. Oh, my goodness. He's already spent Tammy's $470,000. He has spent that money.
Cedar City.
But I also had, sorry to interrupt you, Tim, in one of my comments that somebody had seen, they had written something about, did he have, like, one of his commenters had said, have you got an idea of a price range that you want to spend on a house? And Tim dropped in it $250,000. Tim, where are you getting $250,000 from? You already are potentially being investigated for your firearms. I know this for a fact, and your EIDL loans. So I'm aware of police who have reported your channel for your firearm use. So just be aware of this, okay? Tim, people watch. And people are very happy to make reports when you're not behaving. So just caution, sweetheart. But you won't be because you think you know better than everyone else.
I want to go down there where I experienced yesterday and get some more video for you guys. I can barely get out of my truck. So here I go. I'm going to go get some coffee.
Oh, yeah. He returned the shirt.
Folks, the Lord knows my needs. I'm telling you, man.
Oh.
That's the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. I'm not kidding you.
The taglines, the crushing it, the best cup of coffee I've ever. That's his, like, that's literally this. This is his moment. This is what he's doing, guys.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Yeah, he dry begs for that coffee, man, all day long. Prices in the villages where he wants to go are going down. Oh, okay. I know he wants to be in that community. I mean, for a gentleman who originally started his channel saying, I'm a minimalist, I'm just a simple man leading a simple life. You know, he's got all this in the back of his car, and now he's looking at $250,000 houses from a deceased man who he was having an affair with the gentleman's wife very openly because they were going off on cruises and stuff. I'm surprised that Dwayne tolerated it because Tim was supposed to be a family friend. And then he got in there and cuckolded along with Ms. T, poor Dwayne Musselman. So that's the type of character that Tim is. He's a real good guy. You know, I certainly wouldn't trust him around somebody's wife, especially if he thinks she's got money, because he's going to be looking for a sugar baby or sugar mama, sugar something, looking for sugar all the time. He's got his cup of coffee over here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's looking at $500,000 to $1 million houses? Oh, absolutely. Tim thinks he's earned to retire out that way. Tim wants to be on the, house on, this is my perception, house on the golf course, getting his little golf cart, toddling around and living the high life on something that he's never earned other than by being a dodgy dude who was sleeping with another man's wife. That's what he did. That's who Tim is. Yeah, and he looking like a dry alcoholic at the moment too. Oh, coffee is a typical behavior of an alcoholic replacing the mental draw of alcohol with another substance plus the caffeine. And I don't even know if he's fully sober, Tom, to be honest. He was looking the time that John or Jay, because he couldn't get his name right, was with him. He talked about drinking wine, which is still a very strong alcohol. As much as, people want to say wine. I mean, that's why they call them winos. At least in my country, they did. People are winos. I don't know if that's an American term. I don't even know where I know my terms some anymore. But people, and then he buys supposedly non-alcoholic beer, but there's still a very small percentage of alcohol, even in non-alcoholic beer. So his sobriety is not great. So we don't really know, because some days he was looking really rough when he was over at the Riverside RV park over in Nevada, over in Laughlin. How can we forget? Oh, yeah. Blind View says Tim is living the life. Neglect kids, do nothing until 65, and then make 60 videos a week and beg. Oh, yeah. Oh, and I know he makes money because I saw what it did to my own channel. And I promise you, because I popped out so much content in a week, I got noticed by this brand. So, I mean, it helped my channel too, but it's interesting. Oh, he never drinks water. Well, that's terrible. And then somebody else told me that they sent him $15 to do the Panera Sip Club, and he did it for like 1 month, and that was it. Oh, he's just a wino. I've heard in the US for sure. Okay, thank you, Pat. Bella says, my grandfather used to live in a 55 plus community. Your neighbors constantly complain to the HOA if you have as much. Oh, gosh. That's good to know, Bella, because I definitely will make sure I avoid 55 plus community, because I'm getting to 55 this year. I'll be 55 in August. I cannot believe it. But yeah. Oh, that's interesting to know. Oh, yeah. You know what? I want to be in free America, as my friends and I call it. I want to be in an old neighborhood with no HOA. I want to be in free America. I don't want to have the kid who was bullied at high school trying to tell me what to do at 55 about my grass. I want to be able to have my pit bull dogs, and I want to be able to, conceal my weapons, if you know what I mean. Because I'm a good British girl, and the one good thing that we get to have is in Virginia is a concealed weapons license. So yes, absolutely. Blindview says, now you mention it, at barium exposure, never saw him drink water. Yeah, it's just coffee. I mean, this is terrible for the kidneys. This is terrible for the kidneys. You can have a little bit, and he has any heart condition, I wouldn't recommend drinking this much caffeine. You need to go decaf. His heart rate, and then he puts himself out in the sun. I can't imagine what it's doing to his heart rate, his blood pressure, and other things, because it's going to have an effect on you. So yeah, he just hopped up on caffeine all day. And he's trying to talk about paying it forward, which was something that came to my attention because I don't use Apple Pay. I have friends that use it. I tend to be a little bit suspicious of technology, I guess. That's thanks to my dad. My stepfather was in the Royal Navy. Made me suspicious of everything. That's what military fathers will do to you. And somebody was letting me know that you cannot just go there with your Apple Pay like he tries to describe and just do the let's do the flash, and do the, oh, I just dropped my selfie stick in. It's paid. It's paid. It doesn't work like that. You have to put in a special code afterwards. There's like a code you have to put in. You can't just do a tick tick and it's paid. That would be leading security issue for your payment thing, Sorry, I didn't mean to use the word thing like that. But so the way he describes him doing the paying it forward with the coffees and how elaborate he is in his details, and then me having people say, that's not how Apple Pay works. He's able to literally, and I'm going to say this is my opinion, scam his audience who are probably older and do not use Apple Pay. So he's telling them, he's getting in there like, oh, I'm just with my selfie stick, paid. Oh, with my selfie stick, paid. Doesn't work like that, Tim. That's not how Apple Pay works. And you know it. You got to put in the code afterwards. There's more security involved with that. So are you really paying it forward? Because that doesn't sound like you're using Apple Pay correctly. So that's what I understand. Why wouldn't he pay cash one time to video it? Because we know it's straight BS. That's why. Because it's straight BS. Thank you. Yes, Pat Ray. Elder Abuse Awareness Day was over the weekend. Financial abuse of senior includes more than one of Tim's employees on his subscribers. Yes, and Darling did a great video about that. So check out Darling's channel because she did a piece about him and awareness for elder abuse. And that's one of the reasons why we just, I guess, don't want him to get too much of a big channel and are starting to call him out. And people are starting to notice, obviously, Tim. I had watched him before when I was a cardiac rehab nurse. Like everybody else, I stumbled onto his Social Security video. And I used to follow along. And I was like, just trying to, and I used to almost listen. I would be on like the rowing machine at lunchtime and I would listen to Tim just because I was like, this guy was going on about working at Publix and all this stuff. And I was like, it was almost like motivation for me not to mess up my life. I hate to say it, but it was like his making so many mistakes actually encouraged me to want to go to grad school and work even harder. And it's hard to think that Tim is only 10 years older than I am. And yet we seem to be worlds apart in attitude. And he is thinking about how his life is coming, to an end because he says he's going to die at 73, of course. And I'm thinking about how am I going to live the next 40 years? Because I easily saw patients when I worked in, I did gerontology, that people live a long time and have very good lives in their 70s. Some of my most active patients were in their 70s and mid 70s, and they did not look like they were slowing down. Maybe they started to slow down more in their mid 80s. And I had gentlemen who were in cardiac rehab and 85 years old. And one of my concerns for Tim out in that heat too is if he does have a history, hopefully I'm coming in okay. There we go. If he does have a history of alcoholism at all, his likelihood of getting atrial fibrillation is very high. It's very high. Often people that have AFib have had histories of drinking. It's just one of the things, unfortunately, the alcohol does a number on the cardiac muscle and it puts that heart out of its rhythm. And so that is not a good rhythm to have. And so, and he's out in this heat and stuff. I mean, the coffee, these are all things I certainly would not recommend to somebody his age. It's just, yeah, he was handing out the food samples. Who can comment on his channel? He's banned 80,000. Oh, yeah. Somebody asked him. Oh, somebody put in my comments about this was classic. Somebody had wrote in his comments and they let me know that they asked, you got shadow banned, Colonel Bucket? I'm sure you did, Colonel Buckshot got shadow banned. They asked him if the package that he received was his 100K plaque from YouTube. And guess what happened to that comment? Yeah, he dirty deleted it. Oh, Lee, that's how your late husband died? Oh, recovered alcoholic, but big toe in his heart. Right, 20 years. Right, exactly. It really does do. It's more than just the liver when it comes to having, heavy drinking use. It's more than just the liver. And he was only recently somebody who stopped drinking. So and then he's out here with all this caffeine and swinging the golf carts and so forth. You haven't commented on his channel? Oh yeah, if you say anything and he'll, unless you're like just telling him he's the best thing that's ever been on this earth, he's going to delete it. But all they did was ask him if he got his 100K plaque from YouTube in the package, and he deleted it. You should see the stuff that his followers leave on my channel. I hit their comments to the top of my page. I had somebody asking me if I wanted to sleep with him. You would not believe how many of these people think the reason why I comment on Tim is because I want to have a relationship with this man, that I must be really into him. Like, that's my focus as a woman on this planet. Promise you, I haven't dated anybody for 3 years. And part of the reason is I'm petrified I'd run into somebody like Tim.
Tell you what, Jess in here at the Shell station that I'm at, right near.
I know the comments are brutal, like
the orchards, like literally across the street.
Brutal comments. I pinned them though.
Oh my gosh! I should have videoed in there. I'll video tomorrow. You remember when I videoed inside the Sinclair, those coffee containers?
Oh God, no! Look where he is. Blind views. Oh well, I'm going to describe. He's at the gas station. I'm surprised he's not in front of a pump for 30 minutes, because he did what this is how considerate Tim is to his fellow man, is that he sat at a gas pump for 30 minutes and filmed a video for his channel at the pump. He could not even take the time to drive to a parking spot and leave the pump free. No, just sat there, filmed the video, 30 minutes, chatting away. You know, you can always tell when Tim is lonely because, he's out here doing his morning chats and so forth. But we don't need you videoing inside the Sinclair gas station. Nobody wants to see you at the coffee station slurping your coffees, Tim. It's very unhygienic. And then the fact that you cough and sneeze in your hands half the time, and I've never seen you use the crux of your elbow, is also you're a walking health hazard.
They had Highlander grog, and I got that extreme one yesterday. It said really high caffeine. I walk in.
Oh, thank you.
Didn't have Highlander grog.
We'll see
same
you later.
labels.
Thank you for the
same.
super,
I said,
the donation
wow.
to the book.
I said, I want to go down to St. George today and back to Hurricane, so I didn't want to drive back to the Sinclair. But I found a Highlander grog coffee down there. I was talking to Jess, and I said, but you got the same looking coffee canisters, the same labels with some different flavors. I said, I'm stoked. And she says, yeah. She says, everybody around here has the same coffee vendor. I said, well, thank goodness. I can find good coffee everywhere because, down in Florida, unless you go to Wawa or places which have excellent coffee, you go to a 7-Eleven, they get pretty good coffee too. I guess it's getting better, but
somebody pointed out to me that Tim did go to Wawa because he kept going on about these other places, and I was like, goodness me, he'd have a heart attack in a Wawa with all their coffee selection and the creamers out and the sandwiches being made. Oh no, he's familiar with Wawa, which is what we see more here on the East Coast. I have a friend of mine, every time he works out in the gym, he goes to Wawa for his breakfast sandwich. I'll tell you, that place is popping. It's right outside a military base too. Popping.
Sometimes you can find just some regular old, they haven't made it fresh, it tastes burnt. You know what I mean? You've gone into gas stations like that.
Okay.
I got a video in there. That is the best coffee I've drank in my life. They have the creamers, the sweeteners, the sugar-free ones. And she says, which one did you get? I said, well, I got this one called Mountain, and it said medium roast. And then they have that Java that I bought yesterday. That's the high octane. God. And she says, I was just asking because I just brought in this new flavor over there. It's called Tiger or something like that. It's a dark roast. She says, we have a lot of foreigners, Europeans especially, they love a very bold, dark.
Oh, hey, Brooke. Well, Tim is a flim-flam confidence trickster who likes to prey on lonely, vulnerable, and elderly people. He's an honorary member of Girl World. You got to catch up. I can't believe you didn't see the 16,000 videos I popped out about Tim the other week. Oh, girl. They'll fill you in on the story in the chat. Don't you worry.
Coffee, espressos and stuff like that. And I do too. But I went with this, and it's the best coffee I've ever drank in my life. Right across from the orchards. Folks, if you come to the orchards, you got the best.
Oh, and Barium, I love those Audi sunglasses that you bought that look like his and that you're keeping the tag on because then you can return it and keep the receipt. Oh, that's another thing that Tim likes to do. He likes to buy things, use it once, return it, and then keep the receipt probably for his taxes. He's a real good human being. Oh, and then he likes to tell other people they're deadbeat dads.
Cup of coffee you'll ever drink in your life at the Shell station on the exit, which is exit 40. Tell you right now, look over my shoulder. I keep forgetting if it's 42 or 44.
Hey,
I think it's 42.
Come on in.
Bingo, 42. So we're going.
Hey, mods, if I know I'm asking you guys to do a lot of work for me tonight, and I really appreciate you guys. I need to get a moderator party together one day. And if I need to figure out how, anyway, if you could drop Atomic Sage's channel in, because he also is a Tim reaction channel, and we all come at it a little bit differently, all of us. Like I do like traditional Girl World type reacting to Tim, and other people do other different things. So we are a community here promoting what a fantastic person Tim is to the YouTube platform. And more people are getting familiar with Tim. More people are getting to know Tim. And we want them to know Tim because we want them to keep away from him. Because he's dry begging all time. Full on dry begging.
South, folks. We're going to take us a drive. We're going to go back to Hurricane. We might make it to St. George. Why? I'll tell you a good reason.
Miss Pat.
A very good reason. One, in the next couple of days, we're going to have excellent weather. That's what I want to talk about next. It was 46 this morning. And I tell you about the wind. Oh, and I got a lot to talk about. Hang on. Delicious coffee. Let me back up. Last night when I got back and my back was wrenched, I'm sitting in the camper and it starts buffering. Some wind gusts are coming up, hitting it. Like, wind is like throwing something at it, moves it, wind. And it bang. I'm like, whoa, wow. I don't want my air conditioner to blow off the roof. I don't want my slides to be blown out. What's going on here? And then another one, then another one. Then next thing I know, folks, no exaggeration, until this morning,
I started Buy Me a Coffee because Tim had Buy Me a Coffee. But it is a great thing, actually. I can see why he's so into it. But I worked out that he has 286 subs. And if they had only just bought him one cup of coffee, which is $5 usually on the donation, and Buy Me a Coffee takes a very small percentage, like comparatively, he would have made $1,340 just with one cup of coffee, and they generally buy 3 to 5 for him. So he has made thousands of dollars probably from Buy Me a Coffee. And he used to have a different page, and then he got a second page. So I wonder if he changed the pages in order to do something funky with his taxes or reporting, because he's a scam artist, in my opinion, allegedly.
I couldn't even go to sleep last night. For a while, I was terrified. All right, that's an exaggeration. I was deeply concerned. That's no exaggeration. That my camper was going to blow over. That's the kind of wind I'm talking about. That's the kind of shattering and shaking that I went through. I look out the window. Remember, I'm at 6,000. Jess told me back there at the Shell that they can get snow out of nowhere this time of year. A friend of mine told me, Johnny Vegas, his friend in Minnesota, they had 2 inches of snow on the ground in June.
Tim, you didn't even want to know Johnny Vegas until he started gifting you with stuff. You wanted nothing to do with Johnny Vegas. And then Johnny Vegas offered you a set of golf clubs. And now Johnny Vegas is your dear friend. And then you got a bunch of other stuff from him, like the device in order to see how far you are from your hole and all that different stuff. And probably had him pay for your lunch. And he was laughing like, no, I'm going to buy him lunch. You don't buy anybody anything. I mean, you got poor Jay probably a cup of coffee. After that, you bullied him around the golf course to film you one day. I mean, that was the most, you saw Tim's true colors that day. Mr. Bossy Pants. Tim not getting his way, Tim not a happy man. He just not. All right, keep going, Tim.
Anyway, you
Look
couldn't
how
see.
safe this is.
It looked like either rain or sand, dust. It was dust because it was a huge windstorm.
Olive oil. Come on
that
in.
blew through these mountains and blew right over the orchards.
If you've not checked out Olive Oil's channel too, you need to check him out. Her channel is awesome. Pat, I'm gonna ask and Brooke and Angel of Glass to pop in Miss Olive Oil's channel link as well, please. Look at look at what a community we all here. We are all dedicated to have Tim be called out on YouTube. You've never seen a community get together as much as we have and calling out the Timosphere. I've made him an honorary member of Girl World because that's where I came from. But there are so many of us who are banding together to try to highlight how Tim is. A lot of times, and it's a wonderful community. As you can see, we are a community here who are older people. Okay. We're not young, whippersnappers who are, looking at people. We are older people, experienced professionals, people who have lived a life, who've paid our taxes, who've bought property, who work, who go to school. We are all of these things. We live in our prison jobs, as Tim likes to call us. Oh, that's the other thing, Brooke. If you work 40 hours a week, you're in a prison job. Because Tim thinks anybody who actually has a career or goes to work or does anything is at a prison job. Because Tim worked 2 to 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 days a week, and basically made the minimum so he wouldn't be responsible for child support. Oh, he's a real charmer. So, yeah, that's why we're calling this one out, because he is using this platform to really, line his pockets and not through quality content. He has, I mean, this is the content he puts out. I mean, I'm at least trying to do StreamYard and do some stuff, and I'll get in there and do stuff with iMovie and put stuff together. But he's low quality, low effort. It's just him in the camera spitting out this stuff. He also started out with talking about Social Security, taking it at 62. And he's had many people inform him that his math is wrong. And then he'll just delete that comment. Because, Tim can't have that negativity on his channel. Of course.
And I looked out there. I said, well, everybody else is hanging in there. I mean, I'm visualizing the thing turning over and crunching me in there. I mean, I'm telling you, it was. And I looked at my phone, and it was talking about all night. They had a little wind icon till like 8 o'clock this morning. And it did. It did. All night. Funny thing is, laying in the bed back there in that slide, I was sort of not noticing it as much as sitting in the theater chairs in the middle of the camper, where I felt like I was going to be blown over any second. I thought, okay, it's really chattering. It's really blowing. There's going to be one big one coming in a minute. It's just going to break something or blow me over.
I would like to know if Bertie is still around, what his thoughts are about Tim and his RV experience, because he's very sharp when it comes. And if you can, I think Bertie the Explorer has a channel too. So if you want to pop his link down as well, Pat, I forgot to get Bertie's link in there. So please pop Bertie the Explorer's link in there, because he also talks about Tim. We're a real community here. So I want to make sure that all of the links to all of these other creators are in the chat, just in case somebody wants to go and take a look at what their point of view is on Tim, because we all come from like a different point of view. And because of it, it makes for so many really interesting ways to look at stuff. I always feel like I learn something when I watch those. So make sure we put in Birdie the Explorer as well. Okay.
All right, enough about the wind.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that was the first thing I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, Birdie is
The next
great.
thing
Yeah,
is my
I forgot
back
to
is
put your
broken.
channel in there, Birdie. I apologize.
Miss T tells me every time,
I'm
and
trying
she
my
does it
best.
'cause she
Barium
has
knows
issues,
how it is.
to ice it down.
It sucks.
I'm
Yeah.
just so lazy about putting ice in a bag or something and doing it. But I need a miracle. I need prayer. I absolutely want to be able to play golf. I've had this before where I'm not swinging correctly. I'm swinging
I
very
know.
violently.
Isn't it awesome, Beth? We've got so many of us here, and so many. Thank you guys for supporting me and my reaction tonight. And Miss Vicky must be busy this evening with her mum, because otherwise the wonderful Miss Vicky would be here too. And if we could get Miss Vicky's link down below too, I would love. Miss Vicky, Birdie the Explorer. There's so many great reaction channels to Tim. We're a little community over here. And we're all in for the common cause. There's no, the one thing I feel like we're obviously all bringing out material, but we all support each other. It's just a great community. I feel like it's adults who have come into the room and have said, "Stop the nonsense, Tim. Stop the nonsense." And that's what and coming from a professional standpoint, and obviously working in psychiatric mental health and going into that field, I try to be cautious about how I speak about people because I want to remain professional. But I think it is important for those of us who do work in these because there's a lot of work that we're starting to do around the internet and about how it affects people. And so there's more and more studies. I was listening to a very interesting neuroscientist today who was speaking on this topic because it's how I spend my free time. And but yeah, we're definitely, and that's a lot to do with what Foodie has going on too. So yeah, and he's taking advantage. What are you talking about, Tim? 30 minutes of you with a coffee sniffling it. Oh my goodness. All right, keep going, Tim.
Golf, you're not supposed to swing hard. I cannot stop doing it.
Because you never.
I watched a video this morning on about taking the tension out of your arms and taking the arms out of the golf swing.
Oh my gosh! Truth be told,
I got a deal on getting my back right.
I can't.
But today, the next thing I wanted to talk about was I made a little video yesterday showing you guys some real estate, right near the golf course. I was pressed for time to get in there and check.
Oh my gosh, I feel like it's Christmas today. Thank you for that very generous donation to my advanced pharmacology books. I am going back to my class starts on July 3rd. And thank you for that. Oh my gosh, I almost want to cry through that generosity. I'm somebody who doesn't get Christmas presents because my family is all deceased now, pretty much. So I appreciate that. My only baby is my little dog Junebug, my little pitty over there. So thank you, gosh, thank you. Wow. I hope you're watching, Tim. I hope you're watching this community come together because we're full of positivity tonight. My goodness. Thank you. Wow. I'm blown away. Thank you. Thank you for that. My gosh. I'm blown away.
So
thank you.
I wanted to see some of the other area and video and check it out.
Thank you.
Not necessarily homes that are right near or on a golf course. It costs an arm and a leg. However, I was sent an email from someone, my co-pilot.
He's had an accident.
Someone wrote in comments that they couldn't afford to live in. Oh my gosh, look at that. Let me turn this around. You got to see this. Look at that, folks. Look at that green mountain.
Oh,
wow.
I don't like it's this.
Hang on. Let me put this coffee down.
Back to big
I got to take it out of the phone holder and show you.
Miss Pat is my right-hand man. And Miss Angel of Glass and Brooke A. And Pat is always on it, man. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I want to make sure we get all of these folks recognized. Thank you. Look at Miss Pat Ray just go. So if you guys want to check in and check the other channels, please do so. You'll get just a different view of Tim and a different angle. $100 for a legit picture of Blind Views t-shirt with Tim. Oh, yeah. I think we should all get together and have a big old party and invite Tim. You hope you didn't miss anyone? Please let me know. Yeah, if anyone needs to have theirs, let Miss Pat know down in the chat, and she'll make sure that we get everybody linked in there. Yeah, everyone's a great channel. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're here on the cause. I can see I've got 176 people already looking at it. And I know once I get off, I'll see how many people popped in and out. Getting a lot of eyes on you tonight, Mr. Tim. You should be so happy. We're just, people are always like, oh, you'll just send more people to his channel. Well, you never know. I mean, it works both ways. If Tim was smart, he would understand the symbiotic relationship between a YouTube channel and the reaction commentary channels, because that's how Girl World has survived for so long. The characters over in Girl World, such as Amberlynn Reed, our dear friend Foodie Beauty, there's a couple of other Glitters and Lasers, Alexandra Rodriguez. Some of them understand without the reaction channels, their channel would probably have been in the crypt by now. It would be dead. We are the ones who actually bring interest, but Tim doesn't understand that, you see, because Tim's running for the long game, and so he doesn't want eyes on his channel. He does not want the eyes on his channel. And there are people that have been able to dig up quite a lot of dirt on Tim. This is not a man with a clean past. And none of us are perfect here. And I am not the moral police. But I do get concerned when there is somebody who is preying on lonely, vulnerable, and potentially elderly individuals. And I am always going to say that. And so the more I see Tim, the more I am getting interested in how these types of individuals operate on the internet. And as somebody who studies psychiatry, it's fascinating to me. Thank you guys so much. This is a great stream tonight. I'm having so much fun.
Look at that. Look at this.
Yeah,
man, that's a picture.
Yeah, we need
it's just amazing.
We need
God's
new
creation.
Characters in Girl
Focus
World,
in right there in the center of the screen. Look how it goes all the way up. It's sort of barren a little bit there. No, that's trees. I can't see it all. Oh wow! Look at it. It's right there.
Oh yeah,
right there outside my door. A huge mountain coming down from 6,000 down in Hurricane is with a hop, skip, and a jump comes. This 30-minute ride.
Oh my gosh, Pat, you're so funny. It's the best stream I've ever attended in my life. Absolutely. Quality content we're watching too.
This beautiful, smooth freeway is very easy, never crowded to go to St. George or to Hurricane.
Okay.
And to Washington. That's actually where I played golf.
So, Colonel Bucket, I'm curious. What do you think about Tim's safety at the moment as he drives with coffee in hand, watching himself, filming his video and driving down the interstate with all that stuff in the back of his car? How much of a safety risk is he at this time? In Virginia, he'd be arrested probably. At least get a ticket.
These little towns are just, one bleeds into the other. All right, now back to the story. My back. Yeah, I watched a tutorial this morning on relaxing, your arms and hands. I'm too tense. I'm playing with other people. I'm thinking, I got to hit it hard. I got to hit it strong. I got to, and I dug it into the ground.
Well, Barium, I know you're celebrating your 35th wedding anniversary, and very many happy returns for that occasion. And just thank you for stopping in. I just appreciate it. We're going to keep on going with Tim's road trip because since he can't golf, we're going to be getting all sorts of content. Keep going, Tim.
One yesterday, the club, I was digging for gold. I think that's the one that did my backhand. Yeah. I slammed the club right into the ground and it reverted. It hurts right now thinking of it. So I'm doing 70 and 80.
Okay.
This is the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. I'm not kidding.
All right.
So
You're
good.
hopped up on that caffeine, Tim. Every time we hear that beep, 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 that means Tim just crossed the line in his car. So he's like, can't even stay in his lane. Tim, you're starting to get glaucoma. Can you please just focus on the road? Why do you have to drive and make content? I did it one time to do a parody video of you, and it freaked me out. I did not feel safe talking in a video and trying to drive through traffic in Virginia Beach. And I picked slow roads. I won't do it. Every time I see any of these creators and they're in there filming videos in their cars, I feel like, the emergency room is about to get a trauma level 1 call.
I put Splenda in it this morning. Must be it. I haven't had any sweetness in a while. I missed the sweetness. So I got Splenda, and it's a machine that dispenses powdered cream. I love you don't have to pick up something and shake it or tear open a package or pour it out. I love powdered cream. It makes the coffee taste better. So someone was saying, in a comment, they couldn't afford to live in St. George, so they moved to Mesquite. So my co-pilot, John, he hears everything. He sent me an email of a whole bunch of homes for sale in Mesquite. Now, Mesquite isn't going to enjoy the cooler air that 6,000 feet up here in Cedar City has, but 250,000 buys many places there. These are 2017 to 2019 prices, folks. Mesquite. And you got Vegas on the other side of you, St. George this side of you, Hurricane. It's all there.
If you're unfamiliar with Tim's content, he used to say that people who had mortgages were fools. He would say anybody with a house, anybody with a mortgage payment, anybody with a lawnmower payment, all fools. All of them are fools. And now he is like hot for a house. And I think and so you need to drop the minimalism tag from your channel description, Tim, because we know you're not even heading that way. It was just another ruse, because it was a good sale at first to his audience. Look at me. I'm a minimalist. I'm living in the Wolf Pup camper and getting free rent off of my friend's land. So he literally pitched tent in somebody's yard. And he was making out like he was like caring for the property. And then it's just a web of lies. It's constant lies. If you watch the video that Dino just put out, Dino IMO, Dino is the name of the channel. And he showed the video of how Tim was when he was interacting with people who had just been through a devastating hurricane. And he was so rude. And he mentioned that he is cheap. So he is very cheap with his own money, but he's extremely generous with taking other people's money. He has no ability to get a house. He has no income to show for it. He's not got a job because, Google AdSense isn't, unless you're, the reason why these creators who are big YouTubers literally have to probably get the cash together and put it down on the property. Because saying you are a YouTube creator is not, in this day and age yet, a true job. They're not, Wells Fargo isn't going to be like, oh, look at that. He even said that he was going to take his 100K plaque to Wells Fargo. I was like, what are they going to do with that? Give you a loan because they think you got 100K subs? Promise you, we've seen some dying channels in Girl World that have 100K subs that don't get that many views. So he's spending the woman that, oh my gosh, he's so messy. I can't even. He's so messy.
Take some more coffee here. Ah, it's good coffee.
Oh.
So we're counting down the days. I talked to California Steve, my new buddy. what a cool guy. We FaceTimed a little bit. We met each other. He bought me the round of golf. Wants to play golf with me in California. Wants to go to.
Oh my gosh. Now we have California Steve as a side character. Oh my God. There's so many side characters. He bought him a round of golf and now he's trying to get out to California for golf. Oh, Tim, we already know is going to have a heart attack once he gets to those California prices. But he's just grifting across America at the moment. It's the great grift of 2024. Summer Grift Tour 2024. The best grift of my life.
Dinner. We're all going to meet.
Oh,
Miss
Lord, I
T,
can't
his
believe we got
wife, and I, and
California
everybody.
Steve now.
And him and his wife met at Disneyland when they were
yeah.
young. 38 wonderful years, as he describes it, with his wife. She is his best friend. And I thought that's just fantastic, man. It's like Fred and Rafaela in Sarasota, 50 years together. I mean, when you find someone, folks, when you find someone that's on the same team, got the same values, they support you through, he even said, yeah.
I know, that's somebody else was like, you're just jealous of Tim's life because he's doing so much better than you. That's what one of his commenters said to me. You know, well, I've done something that Tim hasn't done. I've owned a property for 21 years, the same property. So I have a great deal of stability.
We took the vows, it was for better or for worse, through thick or thin.
Oh, yeah.
And I won't give any details, but he gave a story like a lot of you can probably say. When they were young, they didn't have any money. He does very well now. Nice home, pool home, all of that. Good job. They're doing well. But when they first met,
it's amazing how many people with prison jobs actually give Tim money. He's like, look at that. I mean, he's like, now that he thinks that he's so close to getting into this house, he is like reinventing himself as this like man of leisure, I think. Like he himself held a job of some value and virtue for years, that he had his 401k and bought a house. He's like, suddenly, I guess the more he's being exposed to his subscribers, and they're obviously nice people who think he's, a good Christian guy who's just full of positivity. It's just, and he was somebody who used to sell oil, and not to degrade what he did, but he would literally go door to door to sell oil change coupon books. And when he couldn't make the rent for his home, he would up his family and move somewhere else. So he just has a track record of skirting and getting away with stuff. And then he's out here trying to talk like he's part of good society that's worked hard and grafted and built something. I've spent so many years in education. It's insane. I have 2 college degrees. I was a school teacher. So my original degree was a Bachelor of Education with honors that I received in the UK, and my teacher's license in the UK. I then went and lived in Mexico for 7 years working as a bilingual teacher. And then after that, I worked for about 5 years for publishing houses, for Macmillan, for Pearson. And I used to travel in Mexico teaching teachers how to teach English. And so I used to give conferences in my mid-20s to hundreds of teachers, teaching them how to teach English as a foreign language in Mexico. I used to work with some of the poorest school districts that you could imagine within the Secretaría de Educación Pública de Mexico. And I spent 18 months studying Spanish at the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico. So I also speak Spanish, which is very helpful sometimes for my patients. I then went and took a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and have become a registered nurse, which I have over 10 years. I'm fully ACLS certified and have been for a decade, which means I'm an advanced cardiac lifesaver. Literally, that means I'm the code card team. So if there's a code blue called into a hospital, I'm somebody who could go to one of those. I've been trained to do that type of work inside of a hospital structure. I am now taking my master's in psychiatry, mental health for nurse practice. And this guy wants to try to equate himself. And he wants to call people like me haters, losers, people who have nothing. Are you serious, Tim? I've rescued more dogs than you can shake a stick at, too. All my dogs are rescues. I don't talk about my relationship with God because that's nobody's business. But I can tell you, I used to take care of my pastor's kids as a nanny. So it just infuriates me the way Tim is just trying to maneuver himself into good society. Stay out.
They're eating tuna. They're sleeping on the floor. They're trying to make ends meet. But she was right there with him, he said. Right there with him. Of course, they met when they were, I'll say the word poor as just a term, but they met when they were like that, and they grew together.
Oh,
and when I hear stories like that about people that have been together for over 25 years, especially over 35 years, my hat is completely off to you. And everyone that's had relationships that long, I would say the vast majority, if not every one of them, also has stories of where they went through a period, or maybe in a few periods, where it was a rough go. But when they stick it out and they go through it, and then they grow stronger, that's where
Beth, I would love for your daughter to do some forensic accounting on Tim's EIDL loan that he took under false pretenses from the U.S. government and from all of us hardworking taxpayers. Because I promise you, I had to work through that time. I wasn't getting EIDL loans, Tim, of $58,000. I was caring for people at their end of life who were actively passing from the reason why everybody was on lockdown. That's what I did during that time. I cared. That's when I did probably my most amount of hospice work and hospice case management was during those times. So I want you to justify you taking almost $60,000 from American taxpayers like me. Because that's what I did during those times. I made sure those people passed comfortably. That was my job. What was your job, Tim, other than scamming people out of money and getting unemployment? What was your job during that time? Oh, I think you illegally used your loans too, because you bought depreciating assets like campers and cars and motorcycles. That's what you did with all taxpayer money. That's why I don't like this gentleman. One of the many reasons. Anyway, let's keep laughing.
And, it doesn't end in divorce. It doesn't end in, hating each other or trying to hurt one another. No, they hit the rough patches and they said, we made this vow, we made this commitment. I still love you. And, I just love
PPE,
stories of people. And I know in my community, because of my age and my demographics, I know I'm speaking to the choir. I know there's got to be, and I've talked to you, there's got to be so many of you out there that are, married for 30, 40, 50 years. I know some of you have shared about your hubby died or your wife passed and now you're a widow and he was your best friend. And, my condolences,
What about your good friend, his wife you were banging, Tim? Because I'm far enough in the stream now I can use language like that. What happened to your wife? I mean, to your friend. And I know I'm somebody who does mental health, but I don't appreciate somebody who manipulates other people. And there is a way that these types of charismatic personalities do this. And so as somebody, so I just, it's hard to see. It's difficult for me too, because obviously I want to remain professional. I don't want people to think, because I have people say, I'd never want you to be my therapist. That's okay. That might not be what I specialize in. So there's, but I actually genuinely care for people. And no, I wouldn't want to see people hurt by somebody like this. But it's amazing how he is probably going to succeed in his goal of getting into this house because he's with somebody that, potentially, I'm not sure what the relationship is. I would think, hey, Miss T, got this money, go get yourself a toy boy and have some fun. Why would you want to be with somebody who's going to have some health issues? Well, I wouldn't. Well, go get somebody young. Have some fun, girl. But, maybe she's, just that into Tim. I can't see why, because he treats her terribly. And we have video evidence because Shingate, Dino IMO was reminding us of Shingate the other day when Tammy hurt herself on the steps to the RV, to the Flagstaff, which everyone says the steps are terrible going up. They're the worst that they're all, pretty much. And she injured herself, and he continued filming and laughed at her. Quality, Tim.
All going to die one day. And unfortunately, if
God.
you're in a great relationship and you lose your partner, I don't know. It's terrible. But
yeah, Tim, and
you had your time.
Tim is Tim is so wild. I can't even. Just a little backstory about Tim. Tim was 16 years old and impregnated his 26-year-old teacher and had to drop out of high school. And he talks about it, and he's talked about it on his channel. So I'm not making this stuff up. So what type of 16-year-old is, having a relationship? I mean, that would be a crime nowadays. And he had children with this woman. His daughter is not much younger than he is because of that. 16 years old. And he wants to talk about, 35 years of marriage. Tim, you never treated your wife right. You literally made her life and the children's life unstable because you had no ability to be stable. And now you want to talk about people who've been married for 35 years because you're trying to move in with this type of people now that you're 65? It's not how you lived your life before. You shunned these types of people before. But now you're all into it because you see these are the folks who've got money to spend and they're liberally giving it to you. They're buying you golf games and taking you out to dinner and treating you to buy me a coffees and all sorts of stuff. Wild, Tim, wild.
Together.
He's more messy than Foodie, I promise you, man.
Miss T's coming out, and we're in the final chapters, plural, of our lives. I mean, we're 65.
There could be commercials.
Oh, she's going to get on me. She's not quite that old.
Hopefully not too many.
The average age is, 73 for a male? And,
YouTube does its thing.
I think about 4 or 5 years longer, the average age is for a woman. So it's not like we have 40 years to go. Certainly don't have a long time to go to be, youthful and wanting to do a lot of stuff. I can tell you right now, that just reminds me. I know people, and you know people, that have told me that are only at full retirement age now.
Yeah, she
less
can
than
get herself
70,
a youngin,
over 65, and they tell me, hey, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to go through all that. I don't think I can do that now. I don't want to do that now. And it's regarding just different things that they would have done when they were just a few years younger. I'm talking just a few years, not way younger. I mean, someone made a comment to me. I made a video on how to put on a weight distribution hitch on my camper. And some people were commenting that, it just looked like a lot of work and they just didn't want to have to go through that. So if they got an RV, they'd probably want something you just get in, turn the key and drive away and not have to, do this kind of stuff. So certain levels of your, not necessarily even your ability, it's just the way you think. You can do it, but your thinking changes. You get a little bit older, and you just want to be, maybe you're fighting a health issue that you don't want to exert too much to, inflame that. You have to stay, calm. You're on medication. You gotta walk. You gotta do what you can to maintain, and you don't need to be stressing or doing something. Let me take some more of this coffee. I need it. This is why.
No, Tim, you need to concentrate on the road. So he's changing his narrative around all the things that he used to say he wasn't about maybe a year or two ago. It's just interesting that you know how easily he's swayed into other thinking, or it's just interesting, Tim. You are a case study of fascination for me in some ways, just because how you're trying to portray yourself now, and it's not who you developed character wise. Oh my goodness.
We talk, folks. From 62 to 67, it's the same thing as a 12-year-old to a 17-year-old. A huge difference. Don't let
Oh, I
that.
knew Bertie was going to have something to say about the hitch, so I was waiting for that comment, Bertie. Oh, he knows. This gentleman knows nothing about doing anything correctly, especially when it comes to anything with an RV. Nothing. He just. Oh look, he just. I guess he needed to get out of Florida, and we have suspicions around that too. But it's all speculation, obviously. Oh my gosh. Oh,
5 precious
doing so
years
little
pass
but
you
saying
by
so much.
when you could be quitting your prison job, getting a free check, doing a little side hustle, working a fraction of what you're doing at 62. Get out of that 40, 50 hours a week. Get your free check and work that much less. However much that free check is, divide that by what you get hourly wage, and that.
Can we please stop referring to Social Security as a free check? It might be free to you, Tim, because I think you went on spousal support, ex-spousal support, because you didn't work enough hours to get probably that amount. And you took it at 62. He's still trying to, I guess if his back is out, we're going to have to expect he's going to crank out some 62 videos and Social Security. Here he goes again, telling us we're all in prison jobs. Tim, are you... These prison job people are the ones who are probably sending you all that buy me a coffee money. He's on a roll. He's on a roll.
That's how many hours less you work a month. Even less. Maybe you got a little savings, you got a pension, but what good is money? What good is it to inherit the whole world and lose your life? What good is it? So I know one thing. 2 months ago, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I turned 65.
So there is, and I read something about this with Social Security, Colonel Bucket, that if he made less than the ex and they had been married for over 10 years, then he is eligible, pardon me, for Social Security based on the ex-spouse's income. If it's less than what he would be getting through Social Security based on his income. The only caveat seemed to be that you cannot get remarried. If you remarry, then you would lose that. But yes, you can, and it's on the Social Security website about how you are able to claim Social Security under an ex-spouse. Just as heads up. Yeah. So yeah, it's possible. You had to be married
6
10
months
years
ago,
though.
I got my Medicare. 3 years ago, I got my Social Security at 62, and I see a difference in my life. I try to stay pretty youthful, so not a huge, but there is a big difference. And I can only imagine a few more years, and then I can look back and say, what if I just kept on crushing it in the prison job I had?
Crushing it in the prison job he had. Can somebody fill me in exactly what prison job Tim did? Because I understand he worked initially as a detailer at a car dealership for 17 years or something. I don't know, something like that. I don't know if it was for 17 years, but he worked at a car dealership doing the detailing. And then he moved to going door to door, selling oil change coupon books a couple hours a day, just a few days a week. So what prison job and career did you actually have, Tim? Because you didn't even get your children health insurance. You didn't do the duties of a father that way. Your ex-wife was the primary breadwinner. So I'm just curious. Now he's talking like he had some type of career. Interesting.
But just think, you turn 67, and then all of a sudden you get ill, and you die, or you think you're going to die, or they tell you you're going to die, and you think, man, I kept doing that job, working for that company, making them money. I could have been out golfing, traveling. Oh, this is what I was going to say. I'm all hopped up.
We know you're hopped up, Tim. I heard it both ways. I've heard that he was the salesman, which is what he said, but then somebody else gave me heads up that he was just doing the car detailing, which is why he details his vehicles so much. So I'm curious if anybody knows Tim from Florida. Which way was it? Because I do want to get my facts correct. But maybe he started out detailing and went to the sales. I don't know. But for the majority, I understand he was doing the oil change coupon books, working for himself.
2 months ago, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, talking about traveling. Had to get this eye thing done. Kept dragging me back to that doctor every 2 weeks. He's got to check the pressure. And all this stuff just holding me up.
I'm sassy tonight.
Now, in 2 short months, I've lost count of the memories I've created. I've lost count on who I've met. I've lost count on all the places I've been. I'm speaking facetiously. I've done so much in 2 months. Just think what you can do from 62 to 67.
I was on the X-Bound.
Before you start slowing down, saying, all right, I'm slowing way down now. I did quite a bit. I got no regrets. Well, that's what I'm trying to do right now. I got a few more years, and I want to go as hard as I can. Don't think I'm going to be settling down into some.
His side hustle is hustling his subscribers. That's his side hustle. That's the hustle. It's the hustle he's got on this platform. It's this. This is his hustle right here. He's got it out here for all of us to see. This is Tim's hustle. Oh, Tim, you blab too much, mate.
Sticks and bricks in Florida or anywhere, right here in Cedar City, and not continue to travel and do and meet and live a life. My life is not about living, sitting on a couch anywhere in Beverly Hills. I want to be out. I want to go do stuff. I'm hooked on travel. Look at this place. Look at what you're looking at while you're listening to me yammer. This is the life to live. It's not going to a 9-to-5 job. It's not paying all that money out to bill collectors and Netflix and all of that stuff. Life is to live, not to endure. You must get hooked on it. You must try it. You must break away from the norm, the brainwashing that, your life is going to, revolve around paying HOA and your house with your nice couch and your blender and your, what do you call that? Airwave? What's that? Air dryer? Air fryer. That's the new thing. Get you an air fryer, man. Your life changes. I say do it all. Get your air fryer and get out there. Buy you a used, cheap RV. You don't even have to buy a $100,000 truck. You can use a little small SUV. Grab that sweet little thing by the hand. Or go out there and get you a hotel room if you want.
Sadly, we've already had a peek of what Tim's OnlyFans. Let me play.
Take off. Get on the road of America. Let your eyes take in God's creation. Meet people in places like Utah that are kind and sweet. Go to climates that make you feel invigorated because of the lack of humidity or the coolness of the air from the heat you've been living in. Get something to give you enthusiasm.
I'm sorry. I got a tickle in my throat there. Tim also exposed himself in his refrigerator completely buck naked while he was filming content for his channel. He was opening up his RV door. He was filming, this is no lies, filming the neighbors. So he had the door wide open, filming, talking away, doing his morning chat for his audience, for his deeply religious subscribers, probably some of them. He then panned his phone around, his camera. He had has a refrigerator with a highly reflective surface, and we got to see all of Tim's goods in the refrigerator. So we already had a peek at what his OnlyFans page would be looking like. And it wasn't good.
Enthusiasm about being alive. And find a game you like to play. Pick up
we
golf.
got a new member.
Take up pickleball.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything.
Let me try
It's
to
some
see
kind
if
of
I can
social thing
show
you join.
Kyle here.
Maybe you might want to get a nice touring motorcycle. You and her get out there and tour. Maybe buy a convertible.
Here we go.
A used old one, and get out, put the top down, and take drives and on something.
Well, Kyle, I'm gonna have to spend. Thank you so much, Kyle Pokey Porter, for becoming a YouTube member. It is so appreciated. I'm gonna have to play you something special for that, because we know when I ask for members.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best dry begging. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Yes, and I love to dry beg for members to my channel. So thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the club. Thank you, Kyle. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream tonight, sweetheart.
Start doing things outside of your what you've been doing, your normal routine, and bring in some new life, some new enthusiasm. Because we said it before, life is you just wanting something to be enthused about. Look at Walmart distribution center. Look at all those trailers of distributing all those wares to the stores for you and me. Look at that. Walmart, baby. If they ain't got it, we don't need it. And by the way, just past Walmart, there's a I'm going to show you if I can see it. It's on a wall over here. It says crush it. It's right on this it's right there. It's on this business of heavy equipment. I'm going to zoom in. Check it out. It's on this wall. Check it out. I'm going to zoom in. There it is. Crusher. Oh, do we see it? Yeah, there it is. I can't hold the camera still.
Oh, no.
Isn't that something? I got a picture of it coming the other way. I'll get it coming.
Can we not try to take photos while you've got coffee in one hand, chatting away to the camera at the other? Yeah, his voice, and I actually sped him up to 1.25, so he sounds a little bit more punchy. Oh my goodness, look at all the vehicles around you, and you're just yammering away over here. Look at the Walmart distribution center. Please, Tim, eyes to the road. Usually when you're on these types of road, the speeds are fast. YouTube, please, we need to stop this nonsense. Can we get a terms of service on driving with the camera going? Can we get another policy that you will ignore YouTube so that I can just report continuously and you do nothing about it? Because that would be great. Thank you, YouTube.
Went home today. I'll take better pictures. So here we are in Washington city limits. We're going to get off. This is where the golf course is that I played yesterday.
Tim's hoping for shares in Walmart, BB.
Hurricane. Let's get off and check her out and crush it. Welcome to Hurricane, Utah. How about that? Guess what? It's all coming back. Look at those trails down there.
Is it a hurricane or a hurricane? Keep going, Tim.
Look at this mountain, how it's sloped. And I don't know if you can see it on your phone, but look at your TV, man. You're missing out if you don't look at this on a big screen.
Actually, even better, Tim. Is it a hurricane? Is Hurricane Tim on his way? Maybe you should just call it a hurricane. That would be a much more appropriate term, Tim. Hurricane Tim on the way.
I know exactly where I'm at now. If you guys have been following me for a while, remember when I used to have a Toyota 4Runner, I went to Moab. And then after Moab, I drove to southern Utah right here to Hurricane. And I went to the sand dunes. That's called Sand Hollow. And it's 5 miles ahead. And I'm going to Walmart right now. Because I didn't want to go to Walmart in Cedar City. And I knew I wanted to travel around down here today and make some video. Can't play golf.
You're making me laugh
too
much tonight.
There's got to be another Walmart down there in St. George and Hurricane and all that. And sure enough, I'm going to the Walmart that I actually went to. It's across from Sand Hollow State Park where I camped out, where the sand dunes are. Big RV park right there. They're everywhere. That's another thing, too, about living life is if you want to avoid the housing market, here's the Walmart.
I know he doesn't actually. That's why I wonder if he was the car salesman, because his cars get detailed beautifully, but he doesn't seem to know how to operate. Like he doesn't know how to get into the VDC or the VDS or whatever they call it and actually change these things for blind spots and monitors and mirrors and stuff. Oh, look at this classic shot. Oh, isn't this good camera work here? We got Tim's hand, some random truck in the mirror. Just Tim's morning chat, which is just Tim's like coffee caffeinated stream of consciousness. He's on he's competing with James Joyce over here for just blabbing of words.
Walmart right here.
Lord of my life,
Turn
it's
left,
worse than
then turn right into the parking lot.
This is the one I went to.
Oh,
Anyway,
have a good
you
night,
can
Dr.
live in any of
Falcone,
these
and
places from $300 to $1,000 a month.
I call him Falcone. Dr. Falcon. I need to sound it right. I don't know why I get so Spanglified sometimes. Dr. Falcon, I want to thank you so much for your generous book fund donation tonight. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good rest of your night. And I know I'll see you in the comments that stream of unconsciousness. Oh, God.
And that is a
Tim,
fraction.
I hope you are watching.
And that includes your utilities most of the time. If they charge you electric, but what's that going to be? $50? Water's always included, sewer's included, and you can live in an RV. You can buy yourself a big fifth wheel. You know, if you have a wife and you want to, live in that, bunch of slide outs on it. You don't even have to buy a truck.
Yes.
To tow it. All you got to do is pay a company, pay somebody with a truck to tow it over.
Now, I apologize if I can't remember which creator I saw it from. I can't remember if it was Olive Oil or Darling. But somebody was saying that his videos, and I apologize if I don't remember. So let me know which one it was that had Tim, his likes to dislikes. I think it was Darling maybe who let me know. Was it Olive Oil? I'm sorry. I know one of you girls did let me know that he has like 40% likes on his videos, which is really low for a 63,000 sub channel. My likes, I'm happy to say, are like anywhere from like, it's not a brag. I'm just very lucky, I guess, at the moment, because I'm not as big of a channel. So most people watching my content probably like my content, but he doesn't have a lot of haters coming in because I get 96%. I had one video, I had 100% likes on it. That was a Tim video. And his likes are like 40%. So that's not great engagement in some ways, I mean, it's engagement still, but if he looked at it, he'd probably be upset by those numbers. It's engagement regardless. But yeah, he doesn't get a good amount of likes.
Where you want to be and just start living. And you don't have any housing costs. You know what it costs for these homes today? For the HOA, the insurance, the electric, the utility, water, sewer, everything is extra.
Thank you, Olive Oil.
And all of your money is just to pay to have a roof over your head.
Thank you. Yeah, Darling is great with getting the facts. Thank you, Olive Oil. Thank you. Thank you. It was Darling. I knew somebody. I've read a lot of comments today, so I apologize. But I want to make sure that I am recognizing the people that do share this information with me. It's not coming from my research. But yeah, he does not get that many likes. So yeah, he's got a hardcore group of, I want to say, looking at his video watch views of probably around 2,000 to 3,000. I want to say, who are like hardcore Tim fans, and then probably the rest of it is hate watch from other people, because his video views have just been tanking down. He had that one video that got millions of views he loves to talk about the one viral Social Security video that I always joke that brought Dr. Ed Weir from the Social Security office back out of retirement to answer these questions and start a channel and Dr. Ed Weir, if you do have questions about Social Security, he does go live and he does answer people's questions, because it's probably so hard to talk to people at Social Security because it's just so busy. And he was a Social Security manager. He's an ex army vet. He has a PhD. I mean, this is and Tim would argue that probably Dr. Ed Weir isn't correct. And so, yeah, he literally brought out of retirement probably to fight the misinformation that channels like Tim were giving out. And I'm glad to say that Dr. Ed Weir has more subscribers than you, Tim.
And that's fine. I'm not advocating that everybody should be in an RV. It's better to live in a house. It's more comfortable. It's safer. It's everything. It's more storage. But you don't.
Did you hear that? I'm going back on this one for just a second. Where are we at? Listen to this change. Okay, Birdie, you want to hear this? Listen to how Tim's changing his tune. Listen to this. This is a man who told anybody who lived in the house was a fool. Listen to him now.
The electric, utility, water, sewer, everything is extra. And all of your money is just to pay to have a roof over your head. And that's fine. I'm not advocating that everybody should be in an RV. It's better to live in a house. It's more comfortable. It's safer. It's everything. It's more storage. But you don't have to live in one that's going to cost you, drain you of all your money. Yeah, I went to that gas station around here.
Tim, why are you concerned with storage? You're a minimalist. How can you just change so quickly your whole persona and character? Oh, that's right. You're a flim-flam confidence trickster. I forgot.
2020. I know exactly where I'm at. This is the Walmart I went to. It gets very warm here too. I can tell you that. But it's a lot of fun. You got some sand dunes you can go to.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
That's just
Thank
another
you, Todd.
thought for you. That's all it costs to stay in these RV parks. And
you've entered the parking lot for your destination.
So it's hurricane rather than hurricane. Is that what I'm understanding? Because I'm not, I'm here in Virginia. We get real southern around here too. We're Norfolk and stuff. Okay. Well, do they say McDonald's in West Virginia or McDonald's? Because Tim does not know how to pronounce that word fully either.
Yeah, I know that. So that's another way you can make your money go further. Look at all these RVs in the Walmart.
If you went to Glasgow and said that.
I'm sure they allow RV overnight parking. Let's see. No overnight parking sign right there. So they're just getting supplies, but yet, wait a minute, does it say that or does it say, let me read. Because look at this guy in his motorhome. He's got all his window shades up, and that sign right here says no camping or overnight parking. But yet, look, he's got all of his windows closed up. Oh, as long as he's not overnight, I guess he's all right.
That's where we're at.
Let's go in here and get some Advil for my back and anything else I might need that I don't have to worry about refrigerating until I go home. I got a little list here. Let's go into Walmart and crush it.
Oh, no, let's not. Okay. Let's not. Oh, my goodness. Well, we didn't get a video of Walmart. So yeah, good night, Lee. Thank you, Lee. And Lee, thank you for your your puppy needs attention, along with getting rest for my self-employed prison job. Well, Lee, I did want to thank you so much for the generous donation to my advanced pharmacology book. It is very much appreciated because grad school books are very expensive and supposedly financial aid does not cover them. So that's I appreciate it. I am going to get an A in this class now. That's my goal. I will make sure I keep up with my class. So thank you so much. I had fun. I hope you did too. Yeah. Night. All right, guys. I didn't know if you were interested in quickly looking at Tim coveting some houses. I won't talk as much. It's 9 minutes. Hold on. Stop, Tim. And we're just going to watch Tim fantasize and dream about new houses real quick. So let me share this with StreamYard because there's nothing better than watching Tim covet other people's property for a man who has said such awful things about homes and houses. And we'll just let him play and I won't interrupt him as much. Let me make sure he's at 1.25. And this will be the last thing that we finish on, because look at this. Tim just cannot resist. He cannot resist. He has been house hunting and shopping and cruising around people's neighborhoods. So, all right, Tim, take it away.
Tim, new homes models open. Zion's Gate Homes. This is right out of the driveway of Walmart here in Hurricane.
Thank you.
And we're going to just drive through this whole subdivision, and we'll see how big and how much brand new homes.
Well, now, Colonel Bucket, Tammy got $470,000 burned through.
On the stick here. Hang on a minute. I had a problem with my, sorry about that. I had a problem with uploading speed, I thought. So I called T-Mobile. I said, come on now. I'll pay for the unlimited, no throttling, anytime, anywhere. Now, these homes look affordable. I'm curious. 3441, 90 North Street. They have weird.
So Tim gives out the addresses, so then his, subscribers can, this gentleman, John, I guess, his co-pilot, as he calls him, can then let him know what these houses are on Zillow listed as. I promise you, I have equity in my condo, and I thought about selling and trying to purchase a property, and be mortgage free somewhat. Obviously, there's still insurance and property taxes and all the other costs of maintaining a home. He obviously wants to be in an HOA community, which, like I said, I want to be in free America. But he promise you, I after a little bit of a search, I was like, no, I'll stay here. So let's watch him with no real history of work and no savings himself, and having an EIDL loan taken potentially under false pretenses of almost $58,000, which he's supposedly to pay $300 a month on for the next 30 odd years. But which is interesting. So I guess he kind of worked it out like, well, I'm only going to be alive for another 8, because he says he's going to be deceased by 73, because that's what the statistics say, which is not correct, actually. It's 74 for men in the United States. I guess he thinks he's going to be off the hook then for the rest of the loan.
Weird names here. 90 North Street. That one looked a little, now we're on, what does it say? 3450 West Street. Okay? Look, you can keep your RV right in your driveway.
I hope not.
No HOA problems here.
I hope
Look at
not.
these cute little size homes with the nice hats on the roof. They got look at this roof here with the solar and everything. How about that one right there? 93, 3450 West, 3450 in Hurricane.
Right. No, she won't.
I'm moving the camera too fast. Sorry. I just drank a Mountain Dew. I'm all hopped up. I dropped 800 milligrams of Advil gel tabs.
He really is.
Not the generic brand, but Advil for my back. Look at these little houses. Cute. There's a little high roof one there.
Tim, the way you eat Advil, I can't imagine that they're very effective for you anymore. You pop those things in like Tic Tacs, and you're gonna chew up your you can't be taking NSAIDs like that all the time. It very clearly says 7 days, and there's a reason for that. And if you go past 7 days taking it, you need to see a doctor. Because you can't be on those medications long term like that, unless there's like certain Tylenol for arthritis and stuff, but that's an acetaminophen product, not an NSAID. So I caution that is not a good plan. And also, you need to get some Epsom salt and just soak in an Epsom salt bath in reality. That would probably be, and probably not drive around, probably rest your back. And just, take it easy and wait for the inflammation. Get some heat on it, maybe. Anyway, that's the last of my free medical advice, Tim.
It's got the high ceiling inside.
Paid a lot of money.
Let's go down here. Look at this. We're on 120 North Street.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They got those really high quality roofs on them.
Yeah, his liver is hating it.
Oh, he does a good job of reflecting that heat.
Absolutely, feral farm girl. His liver is hating
Look at
that.
these little
Yeah.
houses. How much?
Yeah, it's for all the Advil. Just terrible.
Get back out for you guys.
Coffee with it. Ooh, tearing up his stomach.
That's
Dude.
120 North Street. Now we're on 3425 West Street. Some strange names. How about 128 here? You guys got his little Geo Pro
Right.
camper.
Yeah, core strength, a good strong core is going to help with the back, and obviously, not carrying as much weight on your spine. Absolutely, Bella Wolf. Well, congratulations for that. That's awesome work, girl. You keep that up. I need to get my abs more strengthened. I've been not able to exercise like I used to because I got ill and I'm on antibiotics for so long. I'm still on them. I got 40 days more of antibiotics. Can you believe it? I'm on a low dose of Bactrim. 40 days. Not 40, sorry. 4 months. Not 40 days. 4 months. Sorry, I underplayed my antibiotic. Oh, good job, Nurse Ray. Yes, sorry, 4 months of low dose Bactrim for my stuff. So, and obviously I'm taking a lot of pro and prebiotics to keep my intestines happy.
Let me go down along the side of this one here. Just see how many square feet, how big they look.
Right. Huh, foodie
They do not look
something.
big at all. I mean,
Look at the
more than I need, but I mean, look at that. No backyard, 0 lot line on a lot. Here's a little banner. I guess you can walk in. Open house. Model home, Zion Gate. And there's Walmart right there.
Oh no.
Now, you know this has got my name on it.
Well, I'm a plant-based vegan.
Model home.
I'm plant-based. I don't do well with lactose. So, no, I'm just taking Culturelle. And I now got like some Walmart equivalent. So yeah, no, unfortunately, I because I work so long in cardiac nursing, I've got funky food habits.
They go on down there. Not many trees, no yards, no landscaping, no backyard. This guy's got rock in the front.
Yes, no, I'm taking
How much can they be?
Pre-probiotics and have been for a long time.
There's 3442. 175 North Street.
Yeah, I'm on probiotics, absolutely.
Look at these names. Guy's got his Toyota with his pop-up tent on the back.
Oh, she does?
I mean, look at this. No landscaping out in the sun.
Yeah, I'm
this guy here, he's got a little halfway cul-de-sac around here. These are a little bigger. He's got his sun protective tire thing.
Good for
me.
A
whole cover on his camper. That's pretty cool.
And under my doctor.
Yeah, these are a little larger here. Look,
I just wanted to point out, obviously, that's, there's, it's been a better diet for me. And obviously I'm under my doctor's care with it. I let them know, and obviously they monitor for my vitamin B levels, B12 specifically. And they also, just keep an eye on me, because obviously I found it was beneficial for me as a female, and not to bore the guys in the audience with the change that happens as we ladies get older. And so it's prevented me from really gaining any weight during that time. And I enjoy it. I know that for some people it doesn't work. But now when I see cheese and I see because I love some cheese, don't get me wrong, back in my time, I am kind of glad I don't have all that saturated fat that I'm consuming now, because I was a vegetarian since childhood. So I've always been a weird eater.
Way down in here. Look at the size of that one with the RV garage. Come on now. Let's get a price on it.
I'm still boosting, I think.
20 West. Okay, here's the address. 3522. 3522, 3520 West.
Night, Gerald.
Hurricane, Utah. Big house, RV garage. That is the coolest thing. So many RVs out west.
Yes. Yes, I can understand that, Gerald. We're doing public service announcements out here, and just warning people that this gentleman is cruising their neighborhoods. This freaks out one of my subs too, that he goes out and does all this stuff, you know. Okay, let's finish Tim out. We've only got a few more minutes of watching Tim covet other people's homes. Check out these homes right across from Walmart. I don't mean to laugh, but that's Tim's
Model or
idea of a
something they're showing.
fantasy. Oh dear, sniffles.
For sale. How much?
Yes, I do.
$35.56.
I use a lot of nutritional yeast.
$35.56.
A lot of nutritional
I'll give you the street
yeast.
here. It's the same
I
one
love
as that house back there.
yeast. Nutritional yeast is what
Guy's
I
got
love.
him a shed in the back and a little driveway, a gate to get in the back. So some have a little bit of space. Look at that frameless window on there. Isn't that
vegan melon
beautiful?
mushroom pizza.
Look at
That's
that.
Interesting.
That is tight. $35.79.
And not to interrupt, but I have a bakery that's close to my house that does these amazing sourdough crusted pizzas. And I can order a half, like what I call the vegan pizza, because they literally, and they do, it's like all the veggies and everything are like sourced locally. It's so good. No cheese on it. It is the same price as almost like a pizza from say Papa John's or somewhere. Say well, that's not a good one, but say a good pizza shop. And it's so good. I'll get them to order me a half sheet. Oh my God. It is so good. Just chocked with veggies. I actually don't think I could eat a pizza with cheese now because this stuff is so good. So good. Sorry. Now I'm hungry.
Look, all for sale. Please help me out. $35.97. Look at that big bay window. $35.97. The name of the street is
Well, Tim wants to be in the
185 North Street
Oh, it's so good.
in Hurricane,
So good.
Utah.
Has everything.
And they
on
just
it.
keep building
Kale,
them.
I mean, oh, it's good. It's the best. All homemade, fresh at this big.
Another Geo Pro. He saw his neighbor had one. He went and bought one.
Oh, look at this. Oh, it's Tim's fantasy here.
Here's a guy here with a pop-up. Wait a minute. Let me
That's
show you
what
this.
Tim wants to do. He wants to get the house like this, and he wants to park his RV in the drive. So if he wants to go on his little holidays, I mean, he wants to be he wants to be suburban Tim.
I just want to turn here because look, it's got that RV garage, this house. How long it is.
Oh, yeah.
Got that beautiful
is
window,
good.
like that other house with no
Yeah.
frame.
Oh.
And his RV garage is low. It's not the higher one. That's interesting. Probably had it custom made.
I'm not trying to get into a plant-based diet conversation, but I actually did have the Daya one. And now they have it come with a gluten-free pasta for the macaroni and cheese. And I'm not a gluten-free pasta fan. So I actually got a box of like regular, like just some cheap macaroni just for the pasta noodles. And that Daya, the cheddar, it was good. I usually don't like those fakey cheeses, but this one, it was like a strong cheddar. It tasted really, actually, it was very good. I was surprised. I thought I was not going to like it because I don't usually like the fake vegan cheeses. The only one I like is there's one that they do like a blue cheese crumble. Oh, that stuff's good too. I have to be careful because it's processed.
Look at this little one here. Not little, I'm sure. I'll guarantee you. I'll guarantee you. There's nothing in here for under $400,000 currently. But I'll bet you if there's a correction in the market in the next year, that house right there can be purchased for $250,000.
It's pretty good.
And that's a lot of money.
I tried the lentil one. I didn't like it.
That's a lot of money on a mortgage payment plus the utilities, taxes, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, yeah. I'm a tofu fan.
I get that number because when I lived in Sarasota in Lakewood Ranch, it was the number one move to community in Florida for about 2 or 3 years. It was a master plan development. And I knew a lot of people that lived in there, and they all had homes at least this big, if not a little bit bigger.
No, this is not for Tammy, Pat. This is definitely only for Tim. Tammy has her family and grandchildren in Florida. So this is one of the things I don't like about him. I don't know if I don't know if he's using this to kind of say, hey, Tammy, let's get a place, not necessarily out here in Utah, but just set to her mind to go house hunting in Florida. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what because I'm sometimes thinking, is he trying to isolate this person away from her family and bring her out west and have her buy a place out west because he wants to be out west? I mean, they don't have any family. The only people they would know are his subscribers, and he can burn through friends faster than anything I know because he can definitely overstay his welcome and abuse people's kindness. And over time, people are like, well, I'm giving a lot to Tim and not getting a lot in return. So I have no idea. I mean, hopefully his subscribers don't send him enough money in his coffee fund to try to buy him a house. Maybe he's trying to get someone to leave him a home. I have no idea. But he certainly changed his tune when she was able to close on the estate of her deceased husband and was able to get that home sold. And she made, I guess the home was owned outright. And so she got almost $500,000. So Tammy is, now a fairly wealthy lady in the eyes of Tim. So she's definitely got more value for him. But if Tammy was smart, she would ditch this guy and get herself a toy boy. That's what I would do, Tammy.
They weren't as handsome, actually, because this is the new style. But they were 225, 250 all day, every day. So out here, not in South Florida, with a correction, that could be 175 to 225.
Right.
You're like, what are you smoking? Well, that's all it's worth to me. This 400,000, $500,000, you can just take it.
I know.
I'll live in an RV first.
Yes, exactly, Bertie. And I feel like a lot of these, ever since he got met with his subscribers out west, and I feel like he's been on the golf course with some of them and having, like, there was the group out that were the two guys who took him to their house, I think out in Vegas or whatever. And I just, who probably are a little bit more savvy about real estate. And I think he was having these conversations with his new subs and the people he was meeting and having his conversations on the golf course, probably like, oh yeah, look at this, and acting like he understands what's happening with the market. People in real estate don't even know what's going on, Tim. I don't know why you think you're an expert. Nobody knows what's going to happen with this market. It's a presidential election year, okay? Generally not a good time to do any financial decisions. In my, it's not a good year. This is not the right year to buy.
Not me, friend. All right, I'm going to see if I can get this one up and see how T-Mobile's doing. There's your little real estate homework for everybody out there. I appreciate everybody that did do some homework the other day that I asked. Lots of you did. And I've been reading all the comments.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I didn't respond to yours. I read them all. I keep up with them pretty regularly. So I love you all. And thank you so much for being part of the community. All 90.
Oh, gosh, he's about to lie. Yeah, Tim, we know you keep up with your comments because you delete comments you don't like. Like the person who made a little quip about that being your 100K plaque in the package, and you deleted that. So no, and let's listen to him lie about how many people are watching him because this is his latest tagline.
8,416 of you. Crush it.
All right, Tim.
Hey.
Yeah, we're getting rid of you, Tim. All right, guys. That was Tim looking at his houses. Yes, Tim assigns homework. I know. He's got to get all his subs out there looking up house prices. Oh my gosh. I mean, is he trying to find one who's a realtor? Is he trying to get it in with the Bank of America? I have no idea. Or Wells Fargo, actually, was where he was going to go. It's collusion, not collaboration. Oh, my goodness. I know. Walmart to the left. He's got to get in there. He's got to touch stuff and spread his germs. Oh, my goodness. Whatever happened to Dino? Bounced on Tim early with no boating excursion. Didn't he almost take himself out trying to do some handiwork at Dino's house? Yeah, all of these people have disappeared. All of them. Yes. There's 700,000 the houses? Oh. See, Tim is definitely not looking at, he's looking in neighborhoods that are far too expensive for him. Doesn't he realize how close these places are to California and how maybe retirees from California have sold their properties and have moved a little bit, further west to get the better property values and cheaper cost of living, and then still have proximity to their families in California? Has he not kind of put those two and two things together? Yeah, friends has no friends. Mocks, actually, absolutely, Colonel Bucket. And you're somebody who was a state trooper, so you understand probably better than anybody when people are looking for mocks. And I think I even talked about that today, about him looking for mocks. Yes, it's scary. It's scary. It's it's absolutely scary. Oh my goodness. All right, well, you're off to bed, Beth? Well, you have a good sleep, sweetheart. I just appreciate everybody being here tonight. I had an absolute blast. I cannot believe how quick the time went past, and I just had so much fun. I do want to thank everybody who just was so generous this evening. I'm blown away by the generosity tonight. I really am. Just blown away by how kind everybody has been, and helping me with my grad school fundraiser for my advanced pharmacology book. And I did want to thank MacNit for coming in with their very generous super thanks. Obviously, our good friend Blind Views. If you have not checked out Blind Views' channel, please do so. He's great. I I can't say enough about how much I love Blind Views and he holds no prisoners. Dr. Falcon, always so sweet. He really is. And we just love having him come into the chat. We got Sarah. Sarah so generously gave me a super sticker. Thank you, Miss Sarah. If I missed it and didn't do it quickly enough, I do apologize. I try to make sure I recognize. Barium Exposure, again, thank you for the book donation. Check out their channel. He does mashup, or he was doing a funny bit about Tim and the sunglasses, and he does mashups and stuff as well. So check out his channel, really good. Miss Lee's gone to sleep, but thank you, Miss Lee. Truth be told, my God, thank you for that generosity too. I am blown away by that one. And for Kyle, thank you for becoming a new member to the Life and Vibe community. We hope you vibed with us tonight. And I really do appreciate, we know, Miss Pat Ray. Thank you, Miss Pat. Catherine popping in. I know she cut, but we got some folks who are, you know what? Sarasota Tim is also getting recognized by my my fellow Commonwealth compatriots in New Zealand, and and by my fellow Brits. They're enjoying watching Tim. They love a good old confidence trickster and a flim flammer. We love that. The antipods, yay! We love you guys down in the southern hemisphere. Oh my God, that is, now if I had to have a dream trip in my lifetime, it's to New Zealand, honestly, and it's because it's just breathtaking when I see it. And I grew up in Scotland for a while as a child. And I heard, obviously, when they film like a lot of things and it's supposed to be Scotland, it's actually New Zealand. And so I would love to go to New Zealand. I would love to get to the Southern Hemisphere one day. That is definitely, hopefully, something I will do if I just didn't have so many dogs. Night Olive Oil, thank you so much for coming in. And I am so come down for ski season. Oh my goodness, I've never skied in my life, and I don't know if I'm too old to learn. I've only water skied. So I do have decent balance though, but I wonder if I'm too old to learn. I'm reaching that age now where I'm like, ooh, you know, but I would love to do that. Oh my gosh. I'm envious. And Bertie says, you did 600,000, put down 100 for a home. Well, that's because you probably had a prison job, Bertie, and you had like equity and stuff. Oh, Fargo Hollis. Ta-ta! Thank you. We love it. We love it. Well, I just appreciate you all joining me tonight. You can hear my voices going. I'm sounding like Tim now. Tim has passed me his laryngitis. His voice sounded better today, though. Must be all that coffee he's consuming. You got to go milk your goats, Feral Farm Girl. Well, I am glad. I'm actually going to get my dog out for her last walk of the night. She's snoozing at the moment, but Miss Junebug needs to go out and go look for kitties because she likes to look. Oh my God. Last night she licked a frog. I was wondering what was going on in the grass. And she was like, she was getting all excited. And then then I saw this little frog jump away. And then she started foaming at the mouth. I was like, dog, do not get sick this hour of the night. Emergency vets are all bought by private equity firms and they're expensive now. Please do not let me have to go to the Pearl, whatever it is, animal hospital in the middle of the night. Don't do that to me. But she's okay now. She's okay. Oh, yes, my Nightbot's coming in. If you do want to join the Life and Vibe community, there's a link there. And you have to walk Barkley. Oh, I love that name. That's a cute name. Yeah. She wants a prince. Well, as long as that prince isn't Tim. As long as if she doesn't lick the frog and Tim pop out. That's no prince. Oh my God. I've already had a wild day. I promise you. Oh, yes. This one. Thank you, Nightbot's just coming in. Buy me a grad school coffee grad school fundraiser. Tim, you got me doing all sorts of crazy stuff out here. Well, just to finish this out, what can you tell me a little bit about what Tim might be?
Confidence trickster, noun British, a person who tricks other people in order to get their money, con artist.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, Judge Mathis, let's just finish it out for the night.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Yeah, we know what that is. And I wonder how many other dry bags Tim got out there tonight. I appreciate you guys so much. I had a blast tonight because sometimes when I look at the other creator I look at and my mods, all my mods, thank you guys. You know who you are, who were here. Miss Pat Ray, thank you for all of that. Angel of Glass, thank you, Miss Pat Ray. Thank you. You've been awesome. And she does awesome research and link stuff. And just Pat's awesome. We had Angel of Glass in tonight. We had Brooke 8 in tonight. I know some of my other mods, might be in bed because they're in other parts of the world or so forth. So yeah, yes, everybody. Yes, adopt, don't shop. Yes, absolutely. I am a big, huge, obviously advocate for that. All of my dogs are rescues. I've got a rescue bully American pit bull mix, and you can check her out on my shorts. I do show Junebug on the shorts, going out and getting her healthy steps every day. I need to get her filmed sometimes. Sometimes she gets irritated because I stop and do stuff with the video, and she just wants to keep on trucking. So yeah, just absolutely. I appreciate that message. And don't forget too, it is elder abuse awareness at this moment. So just keep an eye on those of your family members who are older, who could be susceptible to the likes of somebody like our friend Tim. So that's part of the reason why we're out here and calling this stuff out, because we don't want anybody to come to any home from, thinking that they're giving money to somebody who's this really good religious person and has got their best interest and is paying it forward, when in fact we know he's a flim-flam confidence trickster. And I love calling him a flim-flammer. Go build a relationship. Yes, I know. We actually have the shelter that's right by my home, which is the one that I adopted Miss Junebug from. So yeah, and if you don't have the ability to have a dog, then you can always go to your local shelter and volunteer to walk these animals, because they love getting attention and they certainly do need it. So yeah, we don't want them to become marks. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Claudette. I know, in my fabulous mods, I've had a blast. Oh, you did? Tim, you're taking your engagement away. Shoot, I leave your subscribers' comments right up there for my channel to see. I'd never get rid of my engagement, Tim. I would never do that. Oh, he knows who I am. He knows who I am. That was funny. All right, guys, let me play out this music. Let me let you get on with your lives. I thank you all for just having me have a great time tonight. And so I appreciate that, because the last night was getting dark and deep, but I had a blast with Funny Girl. We had a great conversation, but we were talking about, just a lot of, heavy, deep stuff last night. So yeah, thank you for this laugh, guys. I needed it. Thank you, Tim, too, for your wonderful comment. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.